welcome back to the Pontiac. Since we had some filming done last, we've actually made a bit of progress on the back end. So the main centre floor section has gone in, and various other portions of repairs and kind of inner arch sections, inner support sections, round the boot lining, all of this has gone in since I believe we last had some filming done on it. And I'm just working on getting the rear section here, because obviously in this area there is another panel that goes in, which is up here for now, just out of the way. So we're just making some sections so we can actually fasten that to where it needs to be. So we've decided on keeping this bottom edge here as a bit of a datum. So we've got this section here which went in this morning, same as this piece over here. And now we've got to work two pieces into the centre, and I'm going to join them at the centre line so it keeps everything nice and symmetrical. So piece of 0.8 mild steel which we folded up earlier, and then put a bit of a stretch on one side and a bit of a shrink on the other. So that now should, if I get it in the right place, match in quite nicely with where everything's meant to be. And we've finished it off. I trimmed it down for the centre line. So now what we're going to do is get a series of holes along the top side of this inner edge that will be spot welded all the way along here, and a series of holes all the way down here, which under here, I've got a torch on it because the lighting's not fantastic in here. So underneath here you can see a little bit more of the extent of just how far it's gone and how much more we've got left to do. And we've got these portions in, and we're going to essentially enclose this cavity, because I do believe, I mean I didn't strip this car down, but I do believe that off of here there is various fuel tank mounting straps, because the fuel tank filler is here and the tank actually sits in this area. So there's a couple of supports that we need to run that way down on the boot floor, which were removed earlier. And then we can get this in. I can close in these corners which we've fabbed up, and we should be able to go from there. Sacrificial corner of the bench. Try and not drill into our fingers. What we've done now, we've run, I think these are about a 4, maybe 4.5 mil hole all the way up on this top face, because we're actually creating a bit more of a cavity down here, so we need to make sure that we're getting it along the face where we need it, as well as running a load of them down here. So I put these through with the hole punch, and then I go through them with a 6.5 or a 7 mil, because I find that when you, so the ones in this direction not too bad, but when you're going upwards to put spot welds in like that, I find it's better that you have a little bit more space around you, so you can actually run the weld around the inside and create a nice little dome over the top of it, so it cleans off nice and easy when it's finished. And you know then that it's got both pieces of material. I see no end of instances where people put a hole through something, put a piece of material on it, weld that in, yeah, that's got it, and then it goes ping and comes off. And really all that is they've not made the hole big enough to be able to watch the weld go in and catch both pieces of material. Usually it just sits on top of the top surface and they go, yep, that's sound, that is, and in reality it's not got it. So what we're going to do now is just offer that up to where we want it. So as we see there, we can see the material on the back face through each of those holes, and we've got a little bit of a push up there to get it to sit nice and flat, which is what I wanted. I want it to be able so I can tack it across this front edge, so then it's rigid, and then when I actually put some pressure on here, it pushes these two faces together to create a nice parallel join between the two of them, which is going to make it so much easier when it comes to doing the spot welds. So everything is looking something like we're going. I'll just get a couple of tacks on, just to stop it from moving everywhere. So, eyes. And just for now, it's not going to be the finished article, just a bit of a tack there just to hold it where I want it. We've got a couple of tacks on the top face there, just to hold things in position. We'll grind these out before we do any welding, just because there's no need for them to be there. We're going to be relying on the spot welds on the underside. So what we can do now, and it's a little bit awkward, a little bit of a kind of third hand situation, but we'll get a hammer. Up under here and just get a bit of an idea of where we can get some of these spots to join in where we want them. So there, I reckon we've got a reasonable chance of getting that one. Push that up just a bit more. Sound job. I'm going to put a couple more on the bottom side, so we know that it's got it. So we push that up with your hammer handle. Get that in, there we go. I was tacking them up without having the mask on. Two reasons for that. It's awkward as sin when you're doing it underneath and stuff like that. And the holes, like I mentioned earlier, they are 6.5 or 7 mil, I'm not 100% sure. So pointing your MIG gun in the right direction and into that area, pulling the trigger, you've got a reasonable chance of catching both pieces of material so it bites it. The only reason really that I'm putting my helmet on for this one is because these holes are, like I said earlier, I think around 4.5 mil. So I want to be able to see me start the weld at the bottom of the hole and run it up into the material that's behind it and up at the top and come back down again. That way I know that it's bit both the outer material, the inner return lip, and then the top part of that material as well. That way I know there shouldn't be any chance of that spot weld pulling out at that point. So I'll just get a couple on here. 5. There's one. We'll go for one at the other end as well. Nice. There we go. So in doing that, I'm watching for the heat signatures that are left on the outer piece of material, as well as on the top side. You can see them start to come through on the piece that's behind it, showing that we have in fact got contact with the material behind and it's actually bit into it rather than just sitting on the top. So obviously where we've put the spot weld in, you can see the rainbow colours kind of spreading out from where that heat is. But as well as that, if you look on the top, you can see the heat not only spreading into this top piece of material that we're just adding, but it's also onto the rear material as well. So we know that that spot weld there is a good one, it's got it. So that's what you want to be looking for when you're putting two pieces of material together like that, and it just makes sure that that it has actually bitten into it. Like I say, you can soon end up just laying material on top of that new piece and it not actually biting into anything behind it. So we're all good there. We're going to get a tack just on this edge here, just so it joins these two pieces together, and then I'm going to run the planishing hammer with the dolly down there just to get a nice clean finish, flat edge over the front of it, so when this centre piece comes in, it's got something nice to work to. So I'm going to tack on here and then I'll do some planishing here. Alright. Hi guys, so I believe that the last time we had any footage done on the Pontiac, it would have been the lower rear portion of the boot floor and probably these corners. I can't quite remember. So since then, we've actually pulled apart this rear section of the car. It's had a new piece put in here, a new folded return all the way along here. It's had a few bits and bobs of repairs around the corners. It's had new edges to this piece, and as you can see, it's had a new back portion where all this had fallen away, with a return that is then spot welded onto the piece that you saw us making earlier. So we're now in a position rather to actually get some weld around this and start getting it cleaned back and planished out and sorted to where we want it to be. And once we've got that point done, we're going to be moving forward into the rear arches. We've already got a whole selection of panels and bits and bobs. I'm just going to circle around here. We've already made a start kind of fabricating some really quite strange. I mean, these are the portions that came out of where the rear arches are, and they're just so far beyond what we can do anything with. So we've started making up some portions to replace it and make it right again. So these are all the hidden bits that people don't see. So we're working our way through it, but yeah, we'll get there.